Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. Recently we uploaded the video about currently at war 2020. And as part of it we are going share about the beauty behind the war. Since many people still don't know much about these nations when you ask them like, what do you know or think about this place? And they will give you their honest answer, war. The people are terrorist and not safe country and so on. Well, dear friends, we must stop judging people easily at one glance. Or by what we only heard in mass media. They are 100% human too, there are good people also and maybe some are bad. And the first place we are going to show you is Syria. Syria is a country in Western Asia, bordering Lebanon to the southwest, the Mediterranean Sea to the west, Turkey to the north, Iraq to the east, Jordan to the south, and Israel to the southwest. The name, Syria, historically referred to a wider region, broadly synonymous with the Levant, and known in Arabic as Al-Sham. A country of fertile plains, high mountains, and deserts. Syria is home to diverse ethnic and religious groups. Syria is a unitary republic consisting of 14 governorates. 1. Damascus is the capital of Syria, the country's largest city. Colloquially known in Syria as Assam and titled the City of Jasmine. Damascus is a major cultural center of the Levant and the Arab world. An important cultural and commercial center, by virtue of its geographical position at the crossroad of the Orient. 2. Muhafazat Reef Damashq, literally the governorate of the countryside of Damascus. It is one of the 14 governorates of Syria. It is situated in southwestern part of the country, borders the governorates of Quneitra, Daraa and Al-Suwaida in the southwest. And it was a major site of fighting in the Syrian civil war. 3. Daraa is a city in southwestern Syria, located about 13 kilometers (8.1 miles) north of the border with Jordan. It is the capital of Daraa Governorate, historically part of the ancient Hauran region. The city is located about 90 kilometers (56 miles) south of Damascus on the Damascus-Amman highway, and is used as a stopping station for travelers. 4. Quneitra is the largely destroyed and abandoned capital of the Quneitra Governorate in southwestern Syria. It is situated in a high valley in the Golan Heights at 1,010 meters (3,313 feet) above sea level. During the Syrian civil war, Quneitra became a clash point between rebel forces and Syrian Arab army. As of 2014, it became controlled by the Syrian opposition. 5. As-Suwaida is a mainly Druze city located in southwestern Syria. It is the capital of As-Suwaida Governorate, one of Syria's 14 governorates, bordering Jordan in the south and Daraa Governorate in the west and Rif Dimas HQ Governorate in the north and east. The city is referred to by some as Little Venezuela, due to the city's influx of affluent Venezuelan Syrian immigrants. 6. Homs is a city in western Syria and the capital of the Homs Governorate. Homs is also the central link between the interior cities and the Mediterranean coast. Before the Syrian civil war, Homs was a major industrial center. It was the third largest city in Syria after Aleppo to the north and the capital Damascus to the south. During the Syrian civil war, much of the city was devastated due to the siege of Homs. Reconstruction to affected parts of the city is underway with major reconstruction beginning in 2018. 7. Tartus is a city on the Mediterranean coast of Syria. It is the second largest port city in Syria, after Latakia, and the largest city in Tartus Governorate. Tartus occupies most of the coastal plain, surrounded to the east by mountains composed mainly of limestone and, in certain places around the town of Suda, basalt. 8. Hama is a city on the banks of the Orontes River in west-central Syria. It is the provincial capital of the Hama Governorate. Hama is the fourth largest city in Syria after Damascus, Aleppo and Homs. 9. Latakia is the principal port city of Syria, as well as the capital of the Latakia Governorate. It is the fourth largest city in Syria after Aleppo, Damascus and Homs, and it borders Tartus to the south, Hama to the east, and Idlib to the north, while Cape Apostolos Andreas, the most northeastern tip of Cyprus, is about 68 miles (109 kilometers) away. 10. Idlib is a city in northwestern Syria, the capital of the Idlib Governorate. The city was taken over by Syrian rebel militias at the beginning of the Syrian civil war in 2011, and by 2017 was the seat of the Syrian Salvation Government. 11. Aleppo is a city in Syria, which serves as the capital of the Aleppo Governorate, the most populous Syrian governorate. Aleppo was the largest Syrian city before the Syrian civil war. However, it is now the second largest city in Syria, after the capital Damascus. Aleppo is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. 12. Raqqa is a city in Syria on the northeast bank of the Euphrates River. It was also the capital of the Islamic State from 2014 to 2017. Raqqa is the sixth largest city in Syria. 13. Al-Hasaka, also known as Classic Syriac, is the capital city of the Al-Hasaka Governorate, in the far northeastern corner of Syria. Al-Hasaka is among the 10 largest cities in Syria and the largest in the governorate. Distinguished by its fertile lands, plentiful water, natural environment and more than 100 archaeological sites. 14. Deir ez-Zor is the largest city in eastern Syria and the 7th largest in the country, the capital of the Deir ez-Zor governorates. It is situated in eastern Syria bordering Iraq, divided roughly equally from the northwest to southeast by the Euphrates. Syria also is the only country that politically espouses Ba'athism. Also a member of one international organization other than the United Nations, the Non-Aligned Movement, it was suspended from the Arab League in November 2011 and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, and self-suspended from the Union for the Mediterranean. Although Syria has some of the oldest cities in Western Asia, such as Damascus and Aleppo, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, tourism in Syria has greatly reduced as a result of the Syrian civil war, that began in 2011 and is ongoing, and its associated refugee crisis. Before the start of the Syrian civil war, 8.5 million tourists visited Syria in 2010, who brought in tourist revenue estimated at 30.8 billion Syrian pounds, 8.4 billion United States dollars, at 2010 rates, and accounted for 14% of the country's economy. By 2015, the number of tourists had declined by more than 98%. And here are the top 15 tourist attraction in Syria. 1. Damascus Umayyad Mosque, also known, the Great Mosque of Damascus. It is one of the largest and the oldest mosque in the world. 2. Old City of Damascus is the historic city center of Damascus, Syria. One of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, that contains archaeological sites including some historical churches and mosques. 3. Souk al-Hamidiyya is the largest and the central souk in Syria, located inside the walled city of Damascus next to the citadel. 4. Aleppo Citadel is a large medieval fortified palace in the center of the old city of Aleppo, northern Syria. Considered to be one of the oldest and largest castle in the world. The citadel is part of the ancient city of Aleppo, a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1986. 5. Al-Azam Palace, Palace of Asad, Pasha al-Azm, is a place in Damascus, Syria, built in 1749 and was the private residence for Asad Pasha al-Azm, the governor of Damascus, and during French mandate for Syria and Lebanon it housed the French Institute. 6. Krak des Chevaliers is a Crusader castle in Syria and one of the most important preserved medieval castle in the world. Originally built for the Emir of Aleppo in 1031 CE but extensively rebuilt by the Knights Hospitaller in 1144 CE. The castle is today listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. 7. Sahyun Castle, Castle of Saladin, is a medieval castle in northern Syria. Located 7 kilometers east of Al-Hafa town and 30 kilometers east of city of Latakia, in high mountainous terrain on a ridge between two deep ravines and surrounded by forest, the site has been fortified since at least the mid-10th century. 8. Site of Palmyra, an oasis in the Syrian desert. Palmyra contains the monumental ruins of the great city that was one of the most important cultural centers of the ancient world. From the 1st to the 2nd century, the art and architecture of Palmyra, standing at the crossroad of several civilizations, married Greco-Roman technique with local traditions and Persian influences. 9. St. Simon Citadel, Saman Citadel, Khalid Zaman, is a building that can be traced back to the 5th century, and one of the oldest surviving church complexes. 10. Nouri Norias water wheel. The Norias of Hama on the Orontes River in Syria is a hydropowered machine used to lift the water into a small aqueduct, either for the purpose of irrigation or for the use in towns and villages. There is at least one known instance where it feeds seawater into Saltern. 11. Deir Mar Musa el Habashi is a monastic community of the Syriac Catholic Church near the town of Nab. The main church of the monastic compound hosts precious frescoes dating to the 11th and 12th century. 12. Dead City of Sergila. It is one of the best preserved of the dead cities in northern Syria, contains about 700 sites. It is located in the Jebel Riha, approximately 65 kilometers north from Hama and 80 kilometers southwest from Aleppo. 13. The Roman Theatre at Bosra is a large Roman theatre in Bosra, in the district of Dara in southwestern Syria. It was built in either the second quarter or second half of the 2nd century AD, and is constructed of black basalt. 14. Mount Kasherin is a mountain overlooking the city of Damascus, Syria. It has range of restaurants, from which the whole city can be viewed. As the city has expanded over the years, some districts have been established on the foot of the mountain. 15. Kalat Jabbar is a castle on the left bank of Lake Assad in Raqqa, Syria. Its site, formerly a prominent hilltop overlooking the Euphrates Valley, is now an island in Lake Assad that can only be reached by artificial causeway.